I have a question.
Question already? We haven't started.
Yes. Well, I have to ask or I won't be able to concentrate or anything.
Okay.
I'm not very sure if we have met or I have met before Simone. So
No,
I
you
just wanted
haven't.
to. I haven't. I have
Mhm.
or not? No.
I
Okay.
think you never know. Maybe we came across, but
No, I don't think so. I just wanted to say hi to you and ask you where are you from.
um, I'm Simone and I'm from Switzerland, living in Zurich.
Oh, don't tell too
Okay.
much.
Yeah,
She's the
Simone.
guest. She
Oh,
is the
is
guest.
she? Hey, double welcome from me. There you go.
you get all the information
Didn't
yourself.
you know?
You know what? I had a crazy week, guys. I couldn't even. I just signed in today. Look, I'm getting red because you put me on the spot. So yeah,
Right.
I didn't know, but I look forward to what you have, to share with
Yeah.
us,
Don't.
definitely.
You can ask her questions later when she's told you some of the stuff.
Missed you.
Right. Anyway, let's make a start. So for those new here, welcome. This is a weekly show. It's called Featured Business, and it's basically to spotlight a business. So you could be a solopreneur, a startup, or any type of business. And even if you don't have a business, which some guests didn't have a business, they can still be a guest because it's about getting to know the person. And we work in combination with, or host in combination with Entnest. Entnest, you can join, it's for entrepreneurs. So those people that aren't on Entnest already, you can join, and it is really for it's an entrepreneurial hub for people to network with each other, to share ideas, and build a community. Basically, there's typically an Entnest representative on here as well, so maybe they're going to join shortly. But you don't have to be on Entnest because this event also goes out and is advertised on other social media. And if you choose not to join Entnest or anywhere else, then that's no problem because it's just a Zoom link at the end of the day. You just join, and it's my personal Zoom link. Okay, so there's no obligation to join anything, just come in and have fun. So the spotlight is on the guest. As I said, it could be any guest. I particularly picked women at the moment because it's this month of kind of empowering women, right? It was just coincidental. It was only women I had booked, you see. So,
Mm.
but it could be any. If you know someone that would like to be the guest as well, and you think they'd be a good guest to tell a good story, then also recommend them, and they can come on. So the idea is to learn about the person behind the business. So we dig into kind of who you are, going back to your childhood, a bit about you, hobbies, activities, and stuff like that. And then we'll transition into the business now, where you are in the business, what type of business, how we can help as a community, kind of what your challenges are, and a bit more about it so we can get maybe involved. Right. So the spotlight this week, our 40th featured business, right? 40th. So it's 40 weeks of fun, right? Is now you'll have to help me out with your surname. So Simone Cooley.
Quickly.
Sorry?
Quickly. It's very hard to pronounce.
You
Hi
tell me.
everyone. I'm very happy to be here. Yeah, I know it's hard to pronounce for anyone outside Switzerland because it's such typical. We all have names with L and E, and yeah, it basically means being a small cook.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to steer the conversation. So thanks for that explanation. I'll steer the conversation. So we're going to, if people can go on mute just so we don't have any background noise and makes it easier to hear. You do get your opportunity to interact. The whole idea is for you as an audience as well. So you will, I'll tell you when it's best, unless there's a point in during the conversation that someone wants to ask a question or something, then we can open it up. But basically, up until a point, then it's learning the story and the background about Simone. So the spotlight's on you. So you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, and you look beautiful in that nice red top.
Thank you for the compliment.
Yeah, I think it's Christmas again.
I prefer spring, to be honest.
Okay.
Happy that winter finally is over, you know.
Right. Okay. So if we can't hear you, raise your hand if people can't hear, because for me, I don't know if it's just me, but sometimes it's intermittent and it's coming and going a little bit.
Yeah, I have the same. I can't hear her also some of the moments.
Right.
It's intermittent, yeah.
Right. So if you feel you can't, just raise your hand and then we'll ask you to say it again. Okay.
Try to put the microphone right before my mouth, so I hope the sound is better then.
Okay, that sounds okay now. So I guess I will also go on mute if you're telling a story, and then we'll come back just so it picks up on you only. Right. So, hi Sheldon as well. So Sheldon is from Trinidad and Tobago. Actually, he was one of the first guests. He's got an interesting story as well. But anyway, without further ado, let's move on. Right. Typically, also what we have, which we don't have this week, because nobody's asked. Nobody said, where's the singer? So we have a guest singer. Nobody asks. So you didn't miss her. So Emily is our guest singer. And for the last, I don't know, 6 or so, she does the intro. She sings the song either on her own with someone else or whatever. She plays the guitar, the piano, she sings and what. Oh, she even did a special with the kids because she teaches kids at camp and whatever. So that was good. So that normally, she couldn't do it this week. So I was going to ask my son to play the piano, but he has to go back to school. So I did record it, but we'll do that another time because we've wasted too much time.
Don't want this.
Sorry?
I can sing, but you don't want this.
No, we don't. We definitely don't want that. No. People will leave. We want to encourage people to come, you see. Right. Okay. So, Simone, tell us, let's start this off. So a little bit about you. So just go back to, like, a lot of the people that have been guests don't actually live in the country of where they were born, but in your case you do. But you've got some very interesting stories because I asked them up front and we've spoken, so I know a lot about you, but the audience know nothing. So before we go into anything about your business, let's just learn a bit more about you and where you're from, where you grew up and your passions and stuff like that.
So, as you already said, I grew up in Switzerland in a very small village, 2,000 people. So basically, you know everybody from this village. So you can't do anything without that the whole village doesn't know. Right now I live in one of the biggest city of Switzerland, but actually we don't have any big city, so it still feels like being in a village. And I think I don't know how early you want me to start, but I kind of grew up like loving nature, loving gardening, like playing the dirt. I spent a lot of time in the mountains. I was not even 1 year of age when I went on my first hike, and my dad took me on some pretty crazy stuff and was never afraid that I could ever fall. So I think, yeah, I got some confidence through that he always trusted me without holding my hand, letting me go through also very small paths, and you had like vertical walls on both sides where you basically could fall, and I was just like 3 or 5 years of age, but yeah, he just trusted me that I will do fine.
So did you find because living in Switzerland, I mean, you get exposed to the mountains anyway, so you have to kind of grow up skiing, and if you don't ski and you're Swiss, then there's a problem. So, right. But you said, like, I mean, you've done lots of outdoor activities, so you love the outdoors, but not just that. The rock climbing and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. You also went on an adventure.
I went on many adventures. I think the first big one was just when I did finish my first bachelor. I not even went to the party, but straight took a plane with my best friend there to Alaska, where we bought a car, but was kind of nearly impossible because you have to be you need to have a passport from the US normally to be able to. But somehow we managed to buy a car there, and it was a super old car, already at 200,000 miles. So we didn't know if we make it fall, because it could break at any time. And it had a bed, actually. It was a van, and it had a bed in the back. So sometimes I draw, for example, while my friend was sleeping, and yeah, it was really fun. We drove a very long route down from Alaska through the whole Canada onto the border of Mexico.
So how long did that take you then?
It took us 4 months. Of course, we did some stops in between, and of course, we had to go to the casinos in Vegas and do stuff like that. You know?
And you didn't break down at all?
No, we really managed to do this, and we made a check on the Canadian border, and with a man, with professional people, and he actually was super helpful and super nice. He said, like, I see that this car won't go too far, but I think you girls, if you want to make it to the Mexican border, that's just what this car can do before it breaks. So let's just try this, you know. And then we were even able to sell it, you know.
Wow. So this is a typical thing that, I mean, is that a route that people do between Alaska and Mexico?
I actually don't think so, because as I said, it's very hard for somebody not US to buy a car. So people rent a car, and it's incredibly expensive if you just do it one way, you know. Otherwise, you wouldn't even need to go back to Alaska, and it's so many miles. Yeah.
So did you stay in accommodation or sleep in the back?
We did all kinds of things. It started from sleeping in the car, of course, because it was the most comfortable one. But on the other hand, it already got very cold. Winter was coming in Alaska when we started, and so it was super freezing cold. I think we also had a tent with us. Yeah, we had a tent with us, and so it's from there on. And on the other side, we slept in a 5-star hotel in Vegas. So we wanted basically to try everything, you know.
So what made you do that then? I mean, living in Switzerland, you decided with your friend, was it another girl or a guy?
No, it was actually my best friend, female. Yeah.
All right. And then you decided, yeah, let's fly to Alaska, buy a car, and then drive down to Mexico. Or how did that come about?
I think it was just an idea of two crazy girls, you know. Nothing more to tell. We just wanted to have our own adventure, you know. And yeah.
Okay. So that's a story in itself, but we're not going to go too much into that story, although it'll be a nice story to learn about the 4 months and what happened. Let's just move on to another story. So sailing.
Yeah, I then after this bachelor, I kind of like to learn new things. So beside always working, I did another bachelor, and I always thought after having accomplished something, I need to give something back to myself, you know. You know, sometimes life and work and study is hard. So after my second bachelor, I thought again, like this time I want to travel for 10 months, because I thought 4 months is not enough. I really wanted because then you can, in 4 months, you have kind of an end date. And I wanted the feeling how it is to go away and never think and don't think how it is at home. So you really get into this travel mode. And so we even planned a crazy adventure this time with my boyfriend. And we wanted, actually, our plan was to cycle from island to island in the Caribbean and find a sailing boat in between that just takes us to the next island. Yeah.
So what did you do? I mean, you did. I mean, the Caribbean, whereabouts did you go?
And we started in Cuba.
All right.
I think it's an incredible, cool island and super friendly people. And you get so many friends if you're on a bicycle there, because it's everybody there moves with either an old car, but most of the people there can't afford even this old, you know, this old, fancy, very nice cars. So the most people are on a bicycle, very old, rusty bicycle, and you just ride with them. And of course, our bikes broke several times, and you know, people just come and say, "What's your problem?" And They fix your bike like this in a second, and you have no idea what they did, you know. Once, for example, my chain broke, you know. I've never had a chain broken on my bicycle, and you think, how will I ever drive again? And this guy just took a stone, called somebody from the other side, and fixed it kind of with a stone and nothing else, you know. Yeah.
Wow, exciting stories. So, and the sailing, you sailed through the Caribbean?
Mm-hmm. The longest was we were 1 month on a boat. Actually, I didn't really sail before. I knew that I didn't know how my body will react to sailing, but I found out that I get seasick very fast. So when I went, even on the first date on the boat, it was like we had dinner together, and even the dinner was too much for me. I just took my head over the railings, and the dinner went backwards.
So with the sailing, you weren't sailing, you were just a passenger on the boat.
You know, it was our dream was like from cycling through an island, taking the bicycle on the boat, and then go to the next island and go off the boat, right? But it probably seemed, we imagined it much easier, and it was actually very hard to find people. Yeah, it's complicated, but to make a long story short, we saw that this is not working. So we were looking for a boat that takes us for longer. And there is a super cool website that we found, we didn't know before, that captain can look for crew, and crew looks for captain. So we were basically kind of the crew. And as I don't know anything about sailing, but I'm very open-minded to learn it. And what I did in this month, I was even sailing overnight. But besides that, I like to cook. So I cooked for the people and cleaned and whatever, did grocery shopping and so on.
Okay, so did you climb the mast? Because you're a climber as well, so I thought they'd put you up there.
The problem is, you know, it was a bit, the captain was a bit older than me. He was already retired, and I was kind of the princess on the boat, what I actually don't like, because I don't feel like a princess. But he was like, don't climb up there, you know, and he wanted to climb up himself. But I thought myself, when I saw it, that he would be way better off getting me up.
So, I mean, you mentioned to me earlier that you're more of like an adventurous type person. So you weren't into Barbie dolls and stuff like that. You're always into playing around in the mud and the soil and getting involved in things. Mm-hmm. So I could see this adventure for you. So you said it didn't have an end date. So how did that come to an end, and where did you end up?
The end is I went, so we had this 4.5 months in the Caribbean on many islands. And after that, we went to South America for another 3 months. And this time traveling with bus, we got rid of our bikes. We left our bikes in the Caribbean. And then finally, we went to Alaska again because, yeah, Alaska got my heart, you know.
Okay. Did you go to Trinidad and Tobago?
No.
Oh, so you didn't see Sheldon because he's there, right?
I'm very sorry, Sheldon.
Right.
Maybe next time.
What about Aruba? Did you go to Aruba?
No, neither.
No, because Alvin's from Aruba, you see. So you didn't go.
It's such a pity that it's so cool that we have really people here from the Caribbean, and it's such a pity that I didn't make it to those islands. It's telling me that I need to do another adventure, you know. So,
as you've kind of done all of these adventures, I mean, some people will be very envious of that, because I would love to also go from Alaska down to Mexico, and I'd love to sail around the Caribbean. I'd love to go and see Sheldon one day. He keeps inviting me, but I can't go there at the moment. So I said we should do this event in Trinidad and Tobago, and Sheldon would host us.
I mean, I could ask the captain again, because he loved me so much. I'm sure I really could text him and do it again, you know.
Yeah, maybe all of us take us all. We could be the crew.
I think the boat is pretty small. It's just 15 meters long. But, yeah, so it would be pretty tight. We would probably sleep on top of each other, but it would be fun, definitely.
Yeah, I'm not sleeping on top of Boyan. But anyway, so that's kind of fast forward a bit. I mean, great stories, and I'd love to learn more about those. But when you came back to Switzerland, then would it have been nice to stay away and not ever come back?
I really felt like the thing was that my boyfriend would have, he actually got a break from work, that what is crazy, for 10 months. If he would have wanted to stay longer, it would be possible for me. Of course, I was slowly running out of money, but we traveled very low budget, so I could stay for a bit longer, I guess. But then he would have needed to quit his job. Maybe we should have done it, you know, because I could go on and on. I was not finished after 10 months, to be honest.
Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is all the featured guests, you see, I'm going to find guests from exotic places around the world and then go and visit them all and stay with them. And then it won't cost me anything.
Can't be like couch surfing. What is a great way to travel.
Yeah, you have to share some of these tips as well with links, particularly about kind of the boat one. I like that idea. So anyway, let's fast forward again. So you're now back in Switzerland, and so your background in education stuff. Tell us a bit about that.
I mean, we have this special system in Switzerland, so it's not after these 9 years of mandatory school, a lot of people not go to high school, but they do kind of an apprenticeship. I think you could translate it this way. So it's very practical. You have some school days and some days really at work, hands-on things. So I did something like this in the healthcare sector, and like becoming slowly like a health assistant, you could call it that way. And after that, I really felt I want to go to university to be a bit more challenged. Because yeah, I get bored very fast. And I studied as a nurse 3 more years. So I ended up like a nurse that is also trained scientifically, but can also work with patients and everything. And after that, I still thought like this was not challenging enough for me. And I went to one of the most known university belongs to the top 10 universities in the world. It's maybe you heard about it. It's ETH. There I studied health science and technology. So it was basically another 6 years of study, doing another bachelor and master. And it was kind of, on one side I had all this math and physics and all this technology stuff and even programming. And on the other hand, it was more about science, like biology and chemistry and so on. And I did a major in neuroscience because I think for me, the brain is something so fascinating, so complicated. So there are so many, like if you ask one question, 10 new pop up. And I was like, on this point, I was like, I just wanted to know how we humans work and what's memory and what does it mean and so on.
So you kind of were a bit disillusioned, and also you didn't necessarily want to go into the corporate world and do something that you wouldn't have the control over, and you were very innovative as well with ideas. So you decided to set up your own business. That's
true. Maybe I have to say that during study, I always worked. So since the age of 16, I've always worked non-stop, also besides traveling, of course. But beside that, I always worked because I thought it's important to really do hands-on work and not just sitting in a classroom and going through all those books and so on. Yeah, but when my studies, that's to your question, when my studies came to an end, of course, I was set, of course, I was trained to either go into the scientific world, so I had an offer for a PhD, or on the other hand, really go into industry and follow a career path. And on this, it was also this time when all these stories about the environmental issues got more attention, and I knew about all the problems we face since long ago, you know, but I didn't know that it's so serious. And when I went through all those papers because I was trained scientifically and I wanted really to know how serious the problem is. And I went through all that stuff. I realized that it kind of is weird to go in a little chamber doing a PhD in neuroscience, what is super interesting. But on the other hand, it takes 30 years until all this research really then can be used in for people, like for Alzheimer's disease and other diseases that we don't have any cure. And I see that's important. But on the other side, there are big challenges that need to be solved now and not in 50 years. So that's my, I thought doing a long traditional career path won't bring me there fast enough to really initiate change. And that's when I decided that I will train myself to build up my own business.
So you wanted to do something more meaningful in your life that's going to have an impact, something that you could control and be part of, and rather than working in a corporation that you could just be another cog in a wheel, you wanted to be able to influence things in a quicker way and do something to do with sustainability.
Mm-hmm.
So then, how did what you're doing now, maybe explain what it is that you've got. So you've created a startup company?
That's true.
And the name of the company?
The name is 𝗬𝗢𝗨𝗥, L-O-O-P-I. It's from the word of loop, like keeping things in a loop. But as we are in the, I don't know if you want to tell me now what it is, but as we do something in the children's sector, we wanted to make it kind of giving it something playful. That's why it's called 𝗬𝗢𝗨𝗥.
So why did you pick, I mean, before you don't share what the product is and see if people can guess, right? We'll do a little competition, see if they can guess what it is, right? But why in particular, but you're giving away some of it already saying children. So why in particular children? Because you come from, well, I don't know, maybe you explain.
Actually, I had my own idea in the healthcare sector, but I'm not sure if the time is ready. It is ready in some other countries where they're much further, but I think the time is not ready here in Switzerland. And when I, as I said before, I wanted to train myself to set up a business. I did courses and where they really help you. And there I met Mirko, my co-founder, that also had an idea, and we all had to pitch our idea during this course. And yeah, I loved his idea so much, and I thought, yeah, I couldn't have met somebody that fits better. And on the other hand, it felt the time felt to be, I'm not sure if this is the right word, is ripe, like the time is here now for his idea, and yeah, to get it to action.
Okay, so the co-founder isn't your partner, it's just a co-founder?
Also,
as in husband?
No, he's not my husband.
Right. Okay, but you did get, I mean, after your travels, with I just sidetracking a little bit. So with your partner that you went, or your boyfriend at the time that you went traveling with, did you end up marrying him?
Yes.
All right. Okay.
We actually married 2 months ago, so it's.
Oh wow! Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm not married since a long time, but I thought a lockdown and yeah.
Wow.
Would make it a bit special.
It was a lockdown marriage.
Kind of, yeah.
You had to stay. You had to stay together for 10 days.
The restrictions in Switzerland are not so hard, so they are.
Okay. All right. But anyway, you still enjoyed yourself then. You didn't want to postpone it for a better time. You just thought the time is right. Let's get married.
It was the perfect day because it had so much snow. I haven't seen so much snow since 20 years, since my childhood. It was all covered in snow. It was -6 degrees, super cold. And yeah, everything, it was like in a, how do you call it? Like in this children book.
A fairy tale.
Yeah, like a fairy tale, yeah. I didn't plan it to be, but that's how it turned out.
Excellent. Well, congratulations. You haven't got children at the moment?
No, I think I don't have time for children right now.
No, but you're
Most of you understand, right?
yeah, but your product is, or your business is around children and what children need.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway,
We have parents. We
Yeah.
are actually 5 people in the core team. I don't tell what it is. We have 5 people in the core team, and we have parents. So not me, but others.
okay, so let's just do a little question then, a little quiz to the audience. So can you guess what the product could be? Right? You're allowed to come off mute and just say, and then anyone? Boyan?
Thinking. You don't see it?
Oh, you see the thinking bubble, yeah.
Give them some more information, and it's more interesting to guess.
All right.
Yes, I think that we need some information.
All right. Okay, and then raise your hand, and then whoever gets it first. Well, it's just a bit of fun, right? So if you know what it is, without telling them what it is.
So your business is called 𝗬𝗢𝗨𝗥, and you have a product, correct?
Building a product.
It's a service or it's a product?
We are developing a product that we later will offer as a service.
Okay, that changes things a little bit.
Okay.
For children.
I mean, in order to keep something in the loop, you need to offer it as a service, because it doesn't make sense that we always make products like we do.
Something like this, you can make loops everywhere and they disappeared without need to clean afterwards.
Yeah. It's not dirty Pampers, washing them and using them again.
It's something that every parent has, and you need it from a very early. So you need it right from the beginning.
It has to do with your brain.
No, it does. Also, if it has to do with my brain.
No, with the brain.
No, because it's maybe distracting that I actually am from the health sector originally, because it has nothing to do with the health sector.
Okay.
Of course, it's good if every product that you build, if you think about health issues and health aspects, of course. For example, material-wise. So those things go in, of course.
Is it something like parents sharing experiences type of thing?
No.
Something like you're expert in storytelling. Maybe you tell the story and then...
Right. Maybe you have to give another clue.
We build really a product that you can use with children. And you already, when the baby is born, you use it right away. And
I hear you very well.
And every parent has it. I think nobody can do it without.
Spoon?
That would be something that you really, yeah, but it's not a spoon, it's something bigger.
Like a cot or a pram or...
You got it.
Yeah.
And
You're around that.
Yeah.
What is it?
A pram or stroller is another word for it.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Excellent. Well done, Anne.
Well done, Anne. Hey, girl.
Otherwise, she has to be a future guest, because she was the most...
Oh, yeah, exactly. You have to be, Anne, you have to be a future guest now and tell us what you do.
Yeah.
Right. But anyway,
Anyway,
let's just go back and tell us now where you are in the business. You said there's 5 core people in the team, and tell us a bit more about what you're doing. Maybe for the others to go on mute, because there's a bit of problem hearing at times.
So we started off, as I said, as 2 people, and we saw we need more people and more competences in the team. So right now we are 5 people working, 3 of full-time and 2 part-time. And we really, I don't know how much you want me to go back in the story, if I really should tell where we see the problem and everything, or...
Yeah, I guess the problem, because you would have created this buggy stroller, whatever you call it, because you saw a problem. So
Yeah, what is the problem you solve?
Exactly.
Many aspects And I'm just wondering, maybe raise your hands, people that are parents here. So I'm wondering how many parents we have. Oh, actually, everybody, Alvin? Not yet, huh?
We're clients. Potential.
Okay, so parents, I think you know that if you, I mean, you're pregnant and you need a stroller, and I mean, there are tons of options, and you can have basically anything, you know, and it's so hard to choose, and everybody will tell you something different. Your friends will tell something different than the person at the store and so on. So, and you're in a situation where actually you probably don't know yet what you need then. And we thought like, it's what we see that is like, you buy something at the stage where you don't know what you need, and then you see that it maybe is not perfect for you because 50% of the people are not happy with the stroller they actually have, and you also see that the needs of a child change. So you most, like every fourth person ends up with more than 3 strollers, what is crazy, you know, because it seems that no stroller really fits all the needs of a child. And we thought we really want to make the life of parents easier by making a stroller that you can just build the way you want it. So we make a modular stroller made of models that you can mix and match yourself to create your very own stroller. And if the needs change, like you say, at the beginning you have a small baby that just want to lay, and you some months later need a seat, or you maybe want to change the wheels because now you're not in a city anymore, you want to go to the forest and you need something more stable, you just can swap the wheels. So you can even adapt it at any time. So in this way, we thought we can make the life of parents much easier. And if we offer it as a service, you don't need basically to take care of anything. That means also after 3 years, you probably don't need it anymore. Then you don't need to store it, you just send it back by postal service, and we take care of it, we clean it, we repair it and everything. So you also don't need to be worried that it breaks at any time you need it, because yeah, we just send you a repair service and it's fixed. And if it can't be fixed right now, you get just another one. So in this way, it makes the life of parents much easier. And in the other way, of course, I said I'm very much connected to also do something good for the children of today, but also for the children of tomorrow. We need to live more sustainably. We all know that. So we want to really to build a product then that we can keep in the circle as long as possible, and to reuse the stroller over and over again. So after your family don't need it, it goes to the next family and so on. Of course, we do everything to make it clean and nice looking and safe, but it goes to a next family, and at a very long time, it will get recycled. What is right now not the case. All strollers on the market end up on a landfill. All secondhand strollers, all new strollers, they end up in the landfill, and these are millions of strollers every year, you know. And so we have to do that. I think we can do that better by, in the end, recycle them, and so they get new strollers.
Okay, I think we have a question from Cornelia.
Yeah, as a parent of 3 who only had 1 stroller for all 3, but one question. Our permanent problem with strollers was that they were not high enough. We are 2 tall parents, and we kept not only by walking, running into the stroller, but also had back pain because we had to bend down.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Are your strollers high enough? the handle.
But the handle, I mean, the handle will be, you can
retract it.
Yeah, we ended up with one we could retract a little bit, but it wasn't enough. I mean, average parents are about 6 feet nowadays, and the strollers are not higher than they were 100 years ago or so.
What's your height?
Ich bin 1,78.
Ah, okay. Yeah, but actually strollers should, I mean, if you think normally men are a little bit
Yeah. In particular, my husband is almost 190, so for him it was always a back pain.
As I think, as a health professional, I think it's a shame if you have a stroller that, I mean, there are people that are much taller than you.
Yeah. I never felt that tall, in particular not in Europe. But to find a stroller, and I know this problem from more parents, it's not just us. It was always a problem. You had to bend down, and that gives you a terrible back pain.
Yeah.
No, thanks for your comment. But I think it's great. Thanks. And I'm really aware of this fact, and it's super important for me. As I have the background that I think also ergonomics and everything is important, not only the handle, but also the height that you can put your baby a little bit up, that you're not always like this, you know.
Did you do a market survey whether people are looking for a solution like this? I mean, we know our daughter, when she was pregnant, and we gave her a stroller, and well, they sell it or they use it for the second child. I mean, don't people think, well, I just spent the money, and they don't care? Did you do a survey whether people are looking for this?
We did a survey it's now almost a year ago, and it was pretty positive. And I think another evaluation of if people really want this is that we do now a crowdfunding in a little bit more than a month. So there we will really see, is the society willing, and do they really want to see this product on the market? So if you ask me in 2 months, I can tell you really if this is the case.
Yeah, very good.
So the market is Switzerland, or you want to make it broader?
We definitely want to make it broader because we already talked to people in Sweden, in the Netherlands, in Germany, and probably there are more to come till we're on the market. And there are people that have already they offer products as a service. So for example, Sweden or the Netherlands, there are little businesses that offer strollers and other products as a service, and they just see that with a stroller, it's just very challenging because they really can't repair it.
I think you need to speak to Anne because she has a very challenging and meaningful business to deliver good health to the countries with lower income. My experience, because Bulgaria is with the lowest income in Europe, so it's very common that one stroller is used by 5-6 people, so people just give it to his. So it's maybe difficult to sell, maybe not for everybody, but this is something that is happening until it's totally scrapped So this is something from my experience, but maybe you can find something that will be useful for Africa, for other countries that the income is very low. They really need it because every parent, you said, you need to take care of your kid so this is maybe you can get connected to discuss how you can collaborate on this.
Thank you for your comment, Bojan.
Yeah, I think with your business, you need to start somewhere. You can't, although the market is every country on the planet, you can't go after everyone, and everyone will have probably a different need and a different budget and everything else. So you have to start somewhere. And as you live in Switzerland and the business is in Switzerland, then it makes sense to start in Switzerland. And I know, living in Switzerland as well, I mean, there is an abundance of waste and people buying more of a novelty rather than a necessity. And when they're finished with it, so what? I'll buy another one. And
like car is a prestigious symbol.
Yeah, exactly. So to be able to join like a sustainability circular economy in the way that you can reuse it again. I mean, I have a slightly different situation. I've got 3 kids. So Tom now 8, but I mean, if we just had one child to start with, so a single buggy or stroller, right? But then we wanted another kid and we ended up with twins. So we couldn't use the buggy again because we had twins. So we needed another buggy. And then could you have a buggy that you could adjust? Maybe you can make it wider so you can be for twins, and maybe you can shrink it so it can be just for one. No, but honestly, you can do all sorts of things, right? And then with the height thing, I liked it quite high, but my wife liked it lower. And then sometimes now, like when Tom wanted to push it as well, so then we have it at a lower setting that he could push it, right? But then also we picked one that could go in the forest or something, but then when you're in the city, it's too bulky and it doesn't fit through the doors, and you can't get it in the supermarket. And then we found that when we went to pay, we couldn't get the trolley through. We had to go back to the entrance to get the buggy around there because we couldn't fit it in. So there's lots and lots of things to consider when you're having a buggy.
Do you supply a little motor on it? Because I can imagine in Switzerland with all those hills, seriously, in cities where there are a lot of hills, and even in the Netherlands we do have that. Did you also think of supplying a little motor with it?
Thank you for your
Tesla to put the solar panel on top. So
yeah, exactly. Then a coffee machine maker on there as well.
Yeah, I can imagine there is a market for this, because this generation that is getting pregnant, they are very aware of the climate change and recycling. Well, that's not the right word, but reusing products. So I think there is a big market for it. That couples who expect a child say, okay, well, I'm not going to use my stroller after this child or after my second child. So yeah, it's a good idea because of that, of the reusing.
Sorry, but I would say you could even make like a rental service. So you rent a stroller for a year, then the baby can sit, and you need a little stroller only, not a pram. So you start with a pram, and then you exchange it, and then you rent a stroller, and in the end you just have a tiny little thing when the toddler is getting too tired. And if you have twins, you give your rented stroller back and say, I need a double pack.
Yeah, I could have given the single one back and got a double one in return.
Yeah, like a rental car.
Yeah.
So you can adjust it with the Pro.
You can make that kind of, I see that you, of course, you need to adjust the stroller, but why always get a completely different model when you just can have little modules and you just put them like, I don't know if you had Legos as a kid, but imagine you can just, you have all these Legos and you just build it the way you want it. So if like for James, that would just mean he has one for one child, and when the second comes, you just have this module that the second child can sit. You don't need to change the whole.
Yeah, I'm planning triplets next time. Right.
Give us some more challenge.
You get a double decker then, James.
Yeah, exactly.
And then why not take 4? Because you have two, right? So
yeah, exactly. So
I think it is very interesting, because if you now buy a stroller, you get the for the baby and then for the toddler all at once. It costs 1,200 to 1,500 euros. So people just want to have an appliance for the baby phase, and then they can send it back, because then they get the part for the toddler base. So also price-wise, it is very competitive in the market.
It is, of course, the market is competitive, but I think there are some advantages with us. And
can I say something?
To one of the biggest one in Europe on the market already contacted us. They know that this is something.
I mean, you can compete very easily, because you can supply only the part that is necessary at that moment, instead of getting the 3 parts, with the different phases.
But there's no. I mean, right now there's only innovation on motors, stuff like that, or that you can plug your mobile phone in and things like that. But this would be a completely different scale of innovation. So I see that other competitors on the market are getting really interested to contact us, and this is also a signal for me that this is something.
It is disruptive.
It is.
Yeah.
And you know that from a EU perspective, the EU Commission has the Green Deal, and it features, like, it gives millions of to the circular economy. So it's something that will come. It's not a question whether it comes or not. The question is when. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're up against the big boys, they just want to sell as many products as possible. They don't care. Whereas you do care, and you want to think about the environment and everything else at the same time.
I think Eva had a question.
Yeah.
I don't really have a question. I just wanted to express my gratitude and admiration, because the list of benefits that you provide everybody is long. I could make a list and send it to you. So are there rooms for improvement and expanding? Probably yes. As a parent myself, I remember, that I had to spend a lot of money to get a trolley, and I would have to look, that it adjusts to baby as she grows up, and then, what do you do with it? So you tend to, like Boyan had said, you tend to pass it on to the next person that has a baby and needs it. There is a downside to that, because the wheels get worn out, its usage. So that's something. So I think it's fantastic that you provide that. It adapts to the growth of the baby. It also adapts to the needs of the parents as they grow. It's so clever that you started with giving it as a service. I'm going to have to say that. It's so clever. You're buying time there. I mean, that's how I look at it. You're buying time, you're making time to learn from the experience and the response from parents. And at the same time, you can evaluate the market and, areas where you can improve and make it grow, and that's fantastic. I love the fact that you can repair, that you cover all that. So that means that the health and safety bit, which is extremely important. And I'm sure that to have it in the market, you'll need to go through quite a lot of things that they need to tick the boxes. And I know that you're going to be doing that fantastically. And the fact that it's environmentally friendly, I mean, I'm excited. It's not my business at all, but I'm excited for you, and I'm excited for other parents as well, having babies. It's a great burden to think, okay, I have to buy this now as they grow. And then when you access to certain places where they are very narrow, you have to leave the trolley outside, with chairs. That's a pain in the backside, and I think that you have thought about it all. There's so many things that I love about that, and I know that you're going to do great. So I congratulate you, I cheer for you, and I'm sure you're going to do fantastic. So I'm really excited. I am excited. You can see that, and it's got nothing to do with me.
Thank you for your comments.
So much.
You have great vibes, really.
Oh, thank you. Yes, all good vibes only. Definitely. I'm sure you're going to do fantastic.
Okay, so excellent. I know Eva could talk all day. So what we should do is set up.
You're naughty,
What you could do?
To tease me, so don't worry about that. We tease each other. That's it. Like our second hobby, eh?
Yeah. So, Simone, what you should do also is, you're doing a number of different things. So tell us whereabouts you are in the business now. Are you in a prototype stage? Have you designed it? Where is it being built? When will it be ready for the market? And are you addressing a certain region in Switzerland to start with? Or tell us a bit more.
Also, we are in the developing of the stroller, and we will have a physical prototype that parents can test by heart in summer. That's our deadline, and we are working day and night to make it there on time. And we plan to enter the market in 2022.
Okay.
And I think the cool thing is we can roll out immediately, because, as I said, we have partners in Sweden, the Netherlands. So actually, normally would just start in Switzerland, but as they've already started to do service in several years, and they have so much experience, and they really have so much interest in our strollers because it's so much easier for them to do the service, we really could even roll out in other countries right away.
Excellent. So where did you say, I missed it, where's it being made?
we are working on production partners. We are in contact, and we try to make as much as possible. We want to make everything in Europe, and because also transportation waste should be as small as possible, and parts will be made. Some parts will be even made in Switzerland. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, so you also mentioned here. So if people want to learn more about what you've got a website.
Yeah.
You've got other social media.
Yeah, I have everything, and I think I put it in the chat, and yeah.
Okay. So also what could we do to help you? I know you've mentioned some things here I can say, but maybe you tell us.
No, I tell it myself. So we are, on one side, I said we are developing, of course, the stroller, and on the other hand, we really want to build a community, because we don't want to go the traditional way with big investors and everything. So we want to really take society into account. We really want to be close with parents. So we are building a community. That's one thing. If you have experience in building a community, I would be very happy to share with you and exchange. And on the other hand, as I said, we're planning the first crowdfunding. There will be another one late, probably at the end of the year. And if you have experience in doing a crowdfunding, then it would also be nice to exchange.
Excellent. And at the moment, people can also be in a newsletter, and they can get more information. And also, do you have a discussion group? Because I mean, things like this bring immense value, because I mean, from my perspective with my children, what I would need if I was to do it again, right? What the experiences, the problems and challenges I had, I ended up with like 2 buggies, and also to sell them. I mean, it was harder to sell a double buggy, because although surprisingly there was a lot of twins, but I mean, nevertheless, I would rather have traded it in and got another one and whatever. I ended up at some point, there's so many buggies, the shed was full of buggies. So you have a community where you can, like a discussion group for parents and whatever?
If you go on our website, it's the community page, and there you can, as you are all parents, you can sign up as an expert, so you really get involved. And of course, so we can send you like service, and we can ask you for personal interviews, and we also want to do workshops. So you really can give us your struggles, your opinions, your feedback right away. And yeah, on the other hand, you're really involved and see how a small business is growing, and you see that the struggles you had, you make the life definitely easier for future parents. Yeah.
I have another question, Simone. I saw that you have a domain name .ch. Did you also check the other domain names like .com? Because I just saw it's free. So I would buy that one also, because people will then, when they see your website, they will buy .com and .eu and then ask you 5,000 euros for it. And I'm sure that you are very aware that this is going to be a $1 million business. So people will ask you a lot of money for it. So my advice would be buy after this call immediately .com. It'll cost you 6-8 euros per year. It's nothing. But that will be my advice to you.
Yeah, I think I'll buy it and sell it back to you.
Thank you. I think I checked, and it was, so we've contacted, because they're kind of not used, but somebody already took it. And then one, for example, said it would.
Yeah, it's true. I see it. You can only, it's taken.
We contacted the person. If we want to buy it, we pay 80K. So the question is.
Wow.
Yeah. So. Yeah,
it was you, was it? No. Did you buy it?
No. I misread it. It says moving, so it's already taken by someone.
Yeah. I mean, it was so hard to find a good name, and yeah.
So
it would be best if we had also but to be honest, we reserved already some domains. It won't then be www.𝗬𝗢𝗨𝗥, but you can. I don't want to tell you what it is, but we have you can make something change a little bit, and then we already have several domains secure.
Yeah, I was thinking 𝗬𝗢𝗨𝗪.
Yeah.
It's a nursery rhyme. Here we go 𝗬𝗢𝗨𝗪, here we go 𝗬𝗢𝗨𝗪.
We don't have this one, but yeah, I write it down.
𝗬𝗢𝗨 and 𝗬𝗢𝗨. 𝗬𝗢𝗨 is for the girls and 𝗬𝗢𝗨 is for the boys.
We don't want to do so much gender.
I'm joking. But anyway, we've kind of run out of time now. So,
James, so
Yeah.
as you have a girl that hates Barbies, and you know that I don't do gender color and stuff.
yeah, I know.
I-
My action man always played with the Barbie. I used to steal it from my sister so they could have fun.
Yeah.
Right. But anyway, that's another story. So anyway, we're kind of run out of time, but on a closing note, so if you want to learn more about you and everything, you can provide the details. If you want some help, we're more than happy to offer any assistance. I'm happy to join any discussion groups and stuff, so you can share the links. And is there anything closing that you want to say as a wrap up?
I think I want to give back to you and also to all the people here. It's great that you joined. Thank you for listening to me. And I'm super excited to join the next talks and see you again and to hear other people's story. So that's how I want to close it, because it was about me, but I'm super interested in also other people's story and to talk to you all more, you know.
Yeah, excellent. It's been a pleasure having you as our 40th guest, right? And yeah, did you join EntNest?
Yeah, I've joined EntNest. Yeah.
All right then. So if you're not already in EntNest and you wish to join, that's entirely up to you. There's no pressure to do it if you don't want. But we do this weekly show anyway. You don't have to be a member of EntNest, but if you are, then it's another community for entrepreneurs. I'll share the link, so if you want to join, let me just do that now, right? And then what we do, we have another great business guest next week, another startup, funny enough, who's focusing on also sustainability, completely different, is around energy, but I'm not going to tell you too much more. She's in St. Gallen, originally from Colombia. Right, so this will be an exciting one for next week, but you'll see that posted. So Simone, are you Simone or Simone?
No, Simone is correct.
Simone, okay. I'm terrible with names, as people know. Right, so anyway, it's been a pleasure having you as a guest, and I will send you a copy of this recording so you can share it with friends and stuff, family, and some memorabilia also from the call.
Thanks.
All right, so
thank you, James. Thank you for the opportunity, and yeah, thank you to everybody for listening.
it's been a great pleasure. So you were our 40th guest, as again I said. For people that is the first time here, please come along to the others. It's every week, and yeah, some great stories of people and their business, and it's just fun. And we will do an Easter special, so that is just more for fun for everybody. Okay, so on that note, I wish you all a wonderful weekend.
Thank you.
And I'll see you all again, same time next Friday. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for sharing, Simone. Bye, guys.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Have a nice weekend.
James, it's still recording.